Good morning, everyone, friends, neighbors, customers. We're thrilled to have you here. Now, keep that smile. Last night was probably, for opening night, the greatest night we've ever had. It was absolutely unbelievable. When you think that we had one rehearsal Wednesday night with everyone, and then last night was just absolutely magnificent. One thing we need your help, all of you, on is we need to get everyone here early. That is really the key, is to have everyone early. We start tonight and Saturday night at 7:30. It would be great if we had everyone in their seats by 6:30. But you've got to remember, and they have to remember, traffic is unreal. And then we have situations where people will come in and drop 2 or 3 off, and the others will take the car and then come back in an hour later and try to find. David Archuleta was out of this world. Just, yeah. And Michael York, what a pro. I mean, it was like Saturday night and Thursday night. It was magnificent. To my left, Dr. Mac Wilberg here is a true, kind, brilliant genius. The music was out of this world. But the choir, the orchestra, the bells, the dancers, it was fabulous.
Well, we're delighted to have our 2 guest artists with us. First time that we've had one of our own as a featured artist, and did such a great job last evening. And then, of course, to have the distinguished actor Michael York with us, and he brings such a wealth of experience to the stage, and we're particularly with the particular story that we're telling this year. He brings a stature to that story that we're so grateful for. So we thank both of them, and we look forward to several more performances.
Go ahead, David.
Well, I've just been so grateful for this opportunity to sing with the choir and be a part of this Christmas special. It's been something that, I've always enjoyed listening to the choir all the time. I think they're my most listened to thing on iTunes. But it was amazing to see just all the people here last night. It's weird how it's like a dress rehearsal, but it's at the same time it's a full show. But it's just amazing. There's no place like performing here, and it's just really incredible having the choir just right behind you. It's just like wow, is this really happening? But really, it's been wonderful.
Oh, good morning, everyone, if it is still morning. And please forgive these things. As I told President Monson this morning, it's not a Hollywood affectation, just a little eye problem. But yes, I agree. This has been an extraordinary experience. I was this sort of outsider. I've been to Salt Lake City before and had been outside the buildings. And I'd seen the tapes of the shows and, of course, watched it on PBS. But to be actually inside, to belong as part of this extraordinary entertainment. But it's more than entertainment, because there's a great sense of fellowship and of worship, and especially at this time of year. And I can only echo what has been said, that we were very grateful that it sort of magically came together very, very quickly, and I think because David is such a endearing presence, I mean, and I'm just so much looking forward to what lies ahead, to these next 3 days, and I can say thank you for having me. Thank you for having me here.
Now, if you have questions for Dr. Wilberg, or for David, or for Michael, now would be a good time. Any real hard questions, hold them, and we'll have President Monson answer them. All right.
David, you sort of addressed it earlier that, you grew up listening to the choir and to the Christmas concerts and what your experience was like last night. Talk a little bit more about that. What was it like? What was it like not only with the choir behind you, but with this huge audience in front of you?
Well, yeah, it's, I've been able to, during watching, I guess it's just interesting, being so, just growing up, admiring this building with conference and just knowing that it just seemed so unreal last night. It was one of those moments where it was very hard to actually take it in and realize this is actually happening. It's just bizarre because when you grow up having respect for something, you just don't really feel like, those kinds of things, it just seems unrealistic because when you admire something so much and just grow up with it there and watching it doesn't seem like you're going to be there next. But it's kind of like with American Idol in a way, I grew up watching it and just seeing Imagine performing there, it seems so amazing, but you don't think it'll actually ever happen. And so this is just another one of those experiences, and I think it's going to be it already is one of the most amazing things I've gone to do, and I know it'll be one of the most memorable moments in my life because it's such a privilege to get to do.
Dr. Wilberg, David, and Michael, if you will. So the bar's been set. That was a dress rehearsal, and it was the greatest show ever, is what I heard. How do you repeat the performance and continue on with the performances left?
Well, as an artist, you're never satisfied.
No.
So there's always things that you think can go better, and that's one of the great things about doing a repeat performance of something. Sometimes you work very, very hard, you have one performance, and then it's all over. And it's a great thing to be able to do these performances several times because, as I said, you always want it to be better.
Well, I can only echo that too. And in fact, we are, you're not aware, but we're aware of little things, little glitches and so on. Only a matter of unfamiliarity that suddenly you suddenly find a camera in front of the monitor you're trying to read from. And you think, well, and also, the text has been it's been adapted to suit, I guess the personality of the speaker. And I woke up this morning, I was never happy with the first line, and at 6:30 this morning, it came into my head. So it's going into the show tonight. So, and I imagine this is going to happen, down the line.
Yeah, I just what they said pretty much is, there's always like, if only I had done this, or if I only could have done this better, why did I do that? I think there's always, which is always great. I think it's great to be able to always have room for improvement because you always have something you always have somewhere, a goal to have, because it seems like you never reach it ever. But I think that's kind of how it is for everyone in life. It's like there's always somewhere to go, which is great because that's what keeps you moving forward and keeps you working hard.
For David, Michael, and Dr. Wilberg, can you give us a behind-the-scenes glimpse of how this engagement came about?
Well, it's always a bit of a challenge acquiring guest artists. It's much of it's based on availability, so on and so forth. And we actually had some artists who we thought that we were going to be able to have, and then they were unable to come. And this was about the beginning of the summer time. And so we went to work again, and Michael York, I believe, we engaged about 2 months ago, perhaps. He was, we're just, I have to say that I haven't even told Michael this, but I just happened to see on television a glimpse of Michael York in something, and a light really went off. And 2 days later, I believe that we had to make contact and knew of his availability and looked like it might work. And so it's somewhat of a bit of a puzzle in putting it all together year to year.
I want to interrupt just for a minute. How did it all come together? Father in heaven. We've been trying to get David. We had a contract with him when he first won, and there was a situation with his contracts that he didn't know, and he couldn't be with us. And all that's happened is David has gotten better and better and better, and now we have him at his best. It was, feel the spirit of Michael is just absolutely unbelievable. There's only one person that should be doing what Michael's doing, and,
Absolutely.
And we have him here.
It was meant to be, absolutely.
You talked about this wonderful building and the choir, but what does Christmas bring to this? Could you like share your feelings about Christmas and being able to do a Christmas program here? All of you, David, Michael.
Well, I think that's what makes this even more special, is the fact that it's not just this amazing event and with the choir and the orchestra and Mac and Michael. It's the fact that of what we're celebrating and what we get to share with music and with the words and just what we're talking about. I think it's there's no other time of year that people feel this way because it's so strong. It's such a special thing we're remembering, such a remarkable thing, and people can't deny it. It's there, and so just being able to sing about Christ's birth and celebrating that and remembering it and his life is so great. And I think it's that's just another thing that's very humbling to think about, is that what we're really celebrating, and just to see what an amazing way we can celebrate it is. It's really cool.
And for me, this, in a sense, was a sense of continuity, because over the last few years, I was asked to narrate the Bible, do the entire narration, Old, New Testament. And I lived with that. It was over 550 hours of recording. It's called The Word of Promise, and it's an audio Bible with sound effects, and it turned out very well. And then I was asked to, of all things, to narrate Luke in the new, I suppose, Catholic Bible, which is wonderful because Luke is such a great recorder. I think he was a journalist and he has a great sense. So to get to do Luke on stage was a sort of dream fulfillment. And also I've just spent the whole year working on an album of prayers. So, one researched them and analyzed them and made a short list. And I'm happy to say that came out last week from Christian Audio. So it's been a whole year spent with these great stories resonating in one's mind. And it just seemed, in a sense, only natural to be here with one of the great Christmas celebrations of that the world puts on. And as I said, I feel enormously honored and privileged to be in that position.